What? Dabba-doop, 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 dab, dabba-doop, 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 dab. I'm trying to sing the thrift shop song because of the video, but that didn't sound like it at all. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacy and we have a fun one for you today. Well, at least for me, because it's on one of my favorite topics, and that is thrifting. I have been an avid thrifter since I was about 16 years old. It's funny, I was actually just looking through one of the old scrapbooks my mom made me, and in it was like a newspaper cutout of a bio about when I was going to college. So I was 17 years old, and I talked about how I was addicted to thrifting. So I just thought that was funny that this has been a hobby of mine for over 10 years now, and I'm actually really excited that it has become a lot trendier, I guess, and a lot more mainstream, because thrifting is a great way to stay sustainable, to find really unique pieces, and it's just a lot more of a treasure hunt. I say that in all of my videos when I talk about thrifting, but it really is just a fun treasure hunt because you never know what you're gonna find. And that's why I wanted to do this video, to show you some of my favorite thrifted items in my apartment. This kind of came about because several people have been coming over to my apartment, and they're kind of like, wow, your apartment's done and you haven't even lived here that long. Like, you must have put a lot of money into it, or you must have saved up a lot to get all of this furniture, all this decor pieces. And really, I tell them 90% of my apartment is either thrifted from dumpster diving or getting things off the side of the road, or hand-me-downs. I think I truly only have about like 4 or 5 big pieces that I purchased brand new, but that's just because it's so easy to find cool pieces thrifting. You just have to know that you have to accumulate it over time, and you have to make some sacrifices in the sense of, like, you're not gonna get exactly what you want, but as long as you make the pieces work with what you want, then you're gonna have a beautiful, beautiful place to live. So I will show you my top things that I have thrifted to hopefully inspire you guys to try it out and live a little bit more sustainably. So if you like videos like this, or just hanging out with me, then make sure to like and subscribe. But let me show you my first favorite thrifted items. So we are currently in my bedroom, and when I moved into this place, I knew I wanted my bedroom accents to be kind of pink. Lately, I've been regretting that decision because I just don't love pink that much, but one of the items that it stemmed from was actually this lamp right here. His name is Henry, and he's a light up neon flamingo. I don't know if you can see him in this lighting, but at nighttime, he looks so cool on my nightstand. He kind of gives that cool Gen Z LED light vibe. And I loved him because he was only $2, and it was such a unique piece. One of those things that you stumble across in the aisle and you're like, well, I don't need that, but it's pretty cool. So just because of this lamp, I actually formed a lot of my accents of my bedroom around Henry. So this is another example. This was not thrifted, but this was another like stuffed animal flamingo. I think I saw it like Target, where I was like, hey, tying in the pink and the flamingo theme. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with that theme, but Henry here is one of my favorite thrifted items in my bedroom. Another item in my bedroom that was such a game changer was this full-length mirror. So this mirror was $10, and it's actually an IKEA mirror that I believe retails for around $50 to $60 normally. So such a steal. Mirrors are such a great thing to thrift because unless it's completely broken, you know it's already in great shape. All you need it to do is reflect. But what I love about this one was that it has this detailing on top, as well as kind of like a kickstand. So if you don't want to lean it against the wall, you don't have to. It's a mirror. You look at yourself and it works. So for $10 for a full-length mirror, a really good steal. Another category of thrifted items that I get is shoes. Now, I totally get if this makes you uncomfortable or like kind of gives you the icks. I totally get it. I don't buy shoes that are like everyday or more of like the day-to-day kind of shoes that I'll get a lot of wear out of, because usually those are a lot more worn in if you buy those used. However, I do like to get statement shoes that I wear just for special occasions. The first example I have are these incredible rose gold platform wingtip shoes. I saw these for $5 and I was like, I have no idea how to wear those, but I need them in my life. They're just so fun. I believe I wore these on my birthday, and they're just a fun statement piece to wear every now and then. Now, these are not comfortable. These are not to go out and dance the night away in. These were literally just shoes for dinner because they have literally no support in them, but they're just so fun and just worth it for that occasional outfit. Similarly, another favorite pair of shoes that I own are these blush pink wingtip shoes. Again, these are not something that I would go to a mall and see and go, oh, I love those. But when you see them in a thrift store for like $4 or $5, I was like, wait, this is kind of like my summer color. I wear a lot of pink during the summertime, and it perfectly matches so many shirts that I already have that I figured this would make for a fun addition to some of my shoe collection, just to change up the outfit and give it a new look. So I really encourage you to look in the shoe section just for more like statement shoes, or shoes that are just out of the normal that you wouldn't spend a bunch of money on, but for less than 10 bucks, you'd make a little fashion risk, you know? So I love these shoes and I'm really happy that I got them, and I got a lot of use out of them last summer, and I will continue to get use out of them this summer. Our next stop is my bathroom, and yes, I am in my bathtub because my next favorite thrifted item is actually my spa tray. So you guys saw I did a whole video about me redoing a luxury spa night from home, so make sure to check that out. But in that video, I talk about how I really wanted to buy some type of tray to go over my bathtub, but they were like $60 on Amazon, and I'm like, I don't take baths enough to get any kind of use at that. And then, as if the thrifting gods shone the light from the heavens above, they introduced me to the exact tray I saw on Amazon, but at a Goodwill for $12. So it's exactly like the ones I was looking at. It's got a little spot for your wine. You can put a candle, your phone. It also has a part that flips up for your tablet or book. So just what I was looking for, and $12, even though it was pre-loved, is way better of a price that I was looking for I knew the amount of use I was gonna get out of it. What I also love about this spa tray is that now it just serves as decor throughout the year. So I do keep it like this for the remaining months, even when I'm not using my bathtub. And it serves as just a nice little tray to hold this fake plant, a candle, and just tie in some of the other wood elements that I have in my bathroom. So I really love this spa tray. So I'm still in my bathroom, my bathtub is still below me, but one of my other favorite thrifted items is actually this painting behind me. So this painting was a whole $1. When it comes to like home decor and wall art, I am not super picky because I don't have a very strong interior design aesthetic anyway. So for me, when I buy wall decor, it's like, okay, I'll get this for now if it's super cheap, and then I can replace it later with an item I love even more. And so when something's $1 and I kind of like it, I'm gonna get it. But the thing is that I actually love this piece now because it actually ties in all of the elements of my bathroom together. So my bathroom is green with wood tones, and this is kind of coming across as blue. I don't know why, but it does have a lot of green into it. And so again, it ties that wood element of my spa tray and that little planter with the greens of my robe, my towels, and the plants in here, that I just like how it kind of just brings everything together. And like I mentioned, when it comes to thrifting, you do have to accumulate things over time. So if you see something that you like and it's cheap, get it, because if you find something later that you like, you can easily replace it, and it's still, you're saving so much money as opposed to like buying something off Wayfair or Target for triple the price, you know? But I don't know, that's just me. So I really like this piece and I wanted to show it to you guys. For $1. Another category of items I love to thrift is actually books, because books are expensive. They're like $20 to $30 a book, and for something that I'm probably just gonna read once or twice and then leave it on a shelf, it doesn't have that value proposition of spending that much money on it. Instead, you can go to a thrift store and spend $1 or $2, and considering the content of books, all of the pages, all of the words are the same as a $30 book, it just makes more sense to me to just buy it used. Another reason why I encourage you to buy thrifted books is because it's really trendy right now to get coffee table books that fit an aesthetic, whether it's a certain color palette or a certain look to it, and you don't even read it. So with those kind of books, I'm so surprised by people who spend like $70 on like coffee table books just because it's like Chanel or Gucci, or it's a white, or it has a nice font sort of thing. You could easily go to a thrift store, which is categorized by color, spend $2 on a coffee table book, and it'll still fit your aesthetic, and you'll feel better about it because you aren't reading it, so you only spent $1 on it, you know? So I have a whole video on what's on my bookshelf and the books that I love to read and collect. If you want to go check that out, I did that a while ago. But in it, I talk about how I collect certain authors or series, and it's one of the things that I love about thrifting is that, again, it plays into that treasure hunting kind of vibe that I like. So for example, I collected all of the series of Unfortunate Events. I collect Roald Dahl, as well as the Miss Peregrine's Home for peculiar children. And if you have a certain series or a certain book in mind, it's kind of exciting going to a thrift store, knowing what they already look like and being like, okay, I'm missing number 7 and number 12, and just going through and seeing if you can find it. And when you do, it's so much more exciting than just buying it off Amazon, ordering it, and then putting it on your shelf. It adds that element of like an activity or a challenge. Similarly, I have discovered a lot of cool books just by going to a thrift store, finding a cool book that intrigues me, reading it, and falling in love with the author. Books are another really cool item you can thrift on the cheap. So now that we're in my living room and on the topic of books, my 3 favorite books that I've ever thrifted are actually my coffee table books, which are my I Spy books. So these are always just such a fun conversation starter. I have my neighbors come over and we'll sit down and we'll play these or have little challenges, like first one to find all 3 butterflies wins. So these were really fun because again, these are just like a buck, they're nostalgic, and they just make for a good conversation piece here on my coffee table. We are also at my coffee table because it brings me into the next category of items I love to thrift, and that's card games, board games, or puzzles. So here on my coffee table, I found at a Goodwill a Table Topics. So Table Topics, they're just these cards that are intended to start a conversation with all of your guests. I have the family version, which I'm not a super big fan of because they're very like kind of boring. Like this one says, do you share any of your family's physical traits? And it's kind of like, yeah, I have my mom's eyes and my dad's nose. But then you have other good ones where it was like, would you ever want to see an alien, or what would you ask an alien? So it kind of just gets the conversation going and just, again, creates table topics. So yeah, just a fun, cool little thing that I wouldn't think to spend money on or that I hadn't heard of, but when you see it, it kind of just encourages you to branch out and try something new. I like to buy a lot of games from Goodwill. So an example would be, I saw this Harry Potter Spot It. I love Spot It. It's one of my favorite card games. And Harry Potter, of course, I had to get anything Harry Potter. But it's one of those things where it's like, I already have Spot It, so I don't need another one. But because this was just a few bucks, I had to get it, and it was unopened, so that's even a better bonus. Similarly, I love to get puzzles. Now, if you buy puzzles from Goodwill, you are, of course, putting yourself at risk of not having all of the pieces, which I'm totally fine with because, again, puzzles are kind of expensive, and I don't love to redo puzzles. It's kind of like I want to do one, take my photo with it, and then I'm kind of done with it. I'll let my mom borrow it or something. So I'd much prefer to spend just a few bucks on a puzzle, get it done, and then have that novelty of doing it the first time, and then kind of getting rid of it. So puzzles are another fun thing I like to thrift. So now that we're in my living room, I had to show you my filming corner, and I call it this even though I never ever film here, but I love the look of this corner in my living room. It just adds a cool aesthetic, and I don't really know even how to describe it, but one of the reasons I love it so much, it contains 2 of my favorite thrifted items. That would be this lamp and this plant. So this plant behind me is a fake monstera? I don't even know. I don't know plants. You guys know from my Making Fake Plants video that I have no desire to own real plants because these are just so easy to take care of and you still get the aesthetic. And this is one of my favorite items. It is a giant fake plant and I move it to the background of everything. So all of my Zoom calls, all of my videos, I love that I can just make it mobile and just add that little pop of greenery. It was only $8. This kind of giant fake plant, you could go to Ross, TJ Maxx, and it'll still be 50 bucks. $8 for this plant. It is easily one of my most favorite thrifted items ever. This lamp here, it has that cool, like, old school, I don't even know what kind of lamp this is called. It's got that arm, and I really wanted one of those arch lamps. And again, those are just really expensive. That I saw this one at Goodwill, and this was about $10, and I immediately had to get it because I knew it would add just kind of a cool readery vibe over to this corner, add some light because it does actually work. Oh, how embarrassing. I don't have it plugged in right now. But I just really like the aesthetic that it adds and provides a little bit more light for just $10. And last but not least, my favorite thrifted item that I own would be my bar cart. So I had a whole other video about this bar cart, where I got it, and kind of like decorating it. Now with this bar cart specifically, I got this one at one of those thrift stores where you have to like barter a little bit, and those make me very uncomfortable. I prefer more of like a Goodwill where it's like whatever the price tag says is the price you pay, you don't have to barter at all. However, this is one of those items that I saw at one of those type of thrift stores, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pluck up the courage to actually barter a little bit. And I got it down from like $45 to $40 because I panicked. So this was $40, so a little bit expensive, but it is more of that like vintage aesthetic, and And again, it was one of those things that I saw and it was so unique and just felt like it was calling my name that I needed to get it. But another thing that I love to thrift were all of the items on the bar cart. So for example, I have like my coffee station up here, so I have a couple coffee themed books. Over here, I have a couple of cocktail themed books. And it was one of those things where I went online, looked on Amazon, and it was like $20 per book. And I thought, those are the books that I'm just gonna put as decor and never really open them. I don't really look at the recipes. I don't need to know the history of wine making. But when you see them at a thrift store for $1 or $2, they make for perfect decor. I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm trying to convince you guys. Other items that I have thrifted would be these like decor pieces. So I bought this container for my alcohol, I don't even know what you would call it, as well as this wine rack, and then I went and spray painted them to make them the same color. I was trying to match this color. It didn't really work out and I'm too lazy to redo it. But those types of items where, again, I'm just gonna throw it on a shelf for decor and a little bit of function, so I didn't need them to be absolutely perfect, and I love them. Lastly, the other items that I love to thrift would be glassware. So I make like testing coffee kind of videos. I did like a testing fall coffees. During Vlogmas, I did Christmas coffees. And I just like putting them in fun, different kind of shaped cups just to add a little bit more of a visual interest. So like this one is really interesting. This one's more of a classic mug style, but just kind of changing it up because you can go find some really cool glassware for just $1. And it's also really cool when I invite like neighbors over or have friends over that they kind of like just get to pick their cup, and it's really more of a fun experience of like, ooh, I want the stein, I want the mug, I want this and that. Same thing, I bought these cocktail glasses that have a nice gold trim. They were each like $1, and if you just give them a good wash, they are good to go. That's all you need, and it just adds a little bit more fun and a visual element to your bar cart for very inexpensively. I can't end on that. Very inexpensive. And those were my favorite thrifted items in my apartment. I'll leave links to all of the videos I may have mentioned below, so check those out if you want to see a little bit more about all of my thrifting adventures. But I hope this video was interesting and fun for you guys. I actually own a lot more things that I either found while dumpster diving or from the side of the road. So if you're interested in seeing some of those treasures in a video, let me know in the comments below, because I think that would be another fun video to make. But I hope this encouraged you to realize that there are a lot of cool, unique, and aesthetically pleasing things you can find at thrift stores. It's not just like your grandma's aesthetic or old and tattered and gross items. There is a lot of home decor, there is a lot of furniture, and a lot of things that will really tie your space in with your own personal taste. And this was a no clothes haul, which I realized. I actually do a lot of my clothes shopping while thrift hunting, and it's kind of funny that I didn't include any clothes because clearly I prefer all of the stuff more than the clothes. But I'll leave also links to videos of me where I go thrift shopping and get a new wardrobe or something, so you guys can check that out below. But I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Toodles! They make a lot of cool ones like this for couples, for friends, a lot of different categories, but I love this. Oh, my cats, you guys, they're all like upside down now. This one says, what one special talent would you like to have? The ability to pick up cards from the floor faster.